Guys, welcome to a new YouTube video. In this one, I'm actually going to talk about the coach, expert, or consultant who has a very large audience online of hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram or maybe YouTube, and they have a lot of engagement, a lot of people watch you. You might even have a lot of people in your DMs asking to work with you. But when you launch, when it comes time to launch, people don't buy, or too few people join your cohort, which makes you want to refund those few people and just be like, hey guys, we're not doing this because it's just not worth my time. I know someone like that. The other day, a coach told me literally that last time she launched, it was a cohort, only 5 people joined, and because she had priced the cohort so low, it was like, what, $99 or something like that. She was like, since it was just 5 people who joined for a group coaching type of cohort for 6 weeks, I think it was, she's like, I literally went ahead and found an excuse and refunded everyone because it just wasn't worth my time to appear on calls for 6 weeks to 5 people, which would have been about $500, which I agree, it just was not worth her time. But one of the problems, for example, was that she had priced herself incredibly low. But yeah, that's a conversation for another time. But I really want to talk about the coach that is stuck in this dilemma and they just don't know what the problem is. You look at all the other coaches in your niche, you look at the offers that they launch and you think they're doing great with those offers and they're doing something right. You go ahead and you copy and paste their course, or you try to model them, slap it onto your stand store or your landing page where you have 10 other offers and courses and ebooks plastered on there. And then when no one buys, you're like, okay, but what am I doing wrong? I'm literally doing the same thing as these other coaches, but I just don't get the same results. What is the issue? So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you a couple things that could help you diagnose your problem and give you more clarity around where the problems actually lie. Because let me tell you, it's not just one problem, it could be multiple things, and it's going to be different things for different people. The first reason why you keep doing launch after launch after launch and no one buys is because, first, your audience doesn't exactly know what your offer is. You think they might know because, you know, you're the one behind the scenes, you know exactly what it is that you're offering, but they might not actually know as well as you. And in order for someone to buy something, they have to understand it first. Like, this might sound a bit like obvious and you're gonna be like, well, of course, but more often than not, I see coaches who come to me and they're super confused about why their launch failed. And I look at their sales process, I look at their funnels, I look at the way they promote those offers, and I'm like, dude, no one knows what you're offering. Like, they don't have a clear enough idea, like to the core of what it is that you're offering and why it matters to them. So go back to your funnel, go back to your sales process, go back to your content, go back to your story sequences, and ask yourself, if I were someone cold, like stone cold, who landed on this page or this piece or this marketing material, would I know exactly what the offer is and what it can do for me, who it's for, etc.? Would I know? If the answer is no, then there you go. Now, the second reason why people don't buy and your launches fail, your audience doesn't yet know why they need it specifically. Okay, now this builds off of the first point, but this is also on its own very, very important. Like, an offer might sound sexy, it might sound amazing, but if they don't know why they need it specifically, and if they don't know how your offer specifically applies to their problems and their issues, again, they're just not going to feel the need to pull out their credit cards and invest in your solutions. No matter how fancy you make it sound in your copy, in your emails, in your stories, in your content, doesn't matter. Now, the third reason why people are not buying from you is because they might kind of be convinced that your solution is for them, they need it, and they know exactly what the offer is, but they still haven't had that little bit of extra intimacy with you yet that will push them over the edge and actually sign up or invest in you or take whatever action it is that they need to take in order to get your solutions. And by intimacy, I mean that it could be a sales call, it could be a webinar that they attend where you're the one presenting, it could be a live session where you go live on Instagram or on YouTube. These are just a few examples of ways you can have that bit more personal interaction with your prospects who are interested in you and what you have to offer, but they just need that extra bit of more one-on-one, right? It could be one-on-one, it could be one-to-many, like a webinar is my personal favorite. But the point is, your prospects need that in order to pull the trigger and join your programs. Now, a perfect way to fix all of this all at once without you having to do crazy amount of extra work or completely redo your business model or your offer without you having to do all of that, a perfect way to fix all of these things that I just mentioned is to install the correct funnel into your online business. Now, notice how I said the correct funnel, okay? I'll tell you a little story about this. I was speaking to a coach the other day and she was in a similar situation as you. She has 300,000 followers on her Instagram. She has hundreds of thousands of views on her reels. She is very good at what she does. She's in the, I can't really say exactly, but she's in the personal development space, let's say. And on the outside, if you were to look at her social media, you would say, she must be printing. She must be doing great by the looks of it. But behind the scenes, that wasn't the case. She had maybe 5 failed launches. She was scared to launch again because she was like, if this launch fails again, that is freaking embarrassing. And I was like, you know what? I understand. Like, I get that. I would probably be embarrassed too. And when I looked closer into her business, I saw that her way of selling to her audience was literally a blank landing page, stand store, I think it was. And she had just plastered 6-7 different ebooks, courses, audiobooks, offers, like all sorts of random stuff on there, a couple bullet points on what each offer was about, and then it was all on there, like right there in front of me. And then she was telling me, Seema, I don't know why people are not buying from me. But I was like, bro, it's, first of all, you have too many options, in my opinion. And according to my expertise, like this is just too many options. Like, confusion is the biggest block towards someone taking action and paying you or buying your offers. We don't want to create any confusion. And too much variety can create confusion. A perfect example of this is when I go to a restaurant and they give me the menu and I see that there's 15 pages inside that menu and 200 dishes to choose from. I kid you not, I get really angry because first of all, I'm a very indecisive person. And second of all, it's just too much to choose from. Versus when I go to a restaurant and they give me their menu, which is like 1 page, literally 1 page, they give it to me and I read and I say, okay, I can tell that they have maybe 7 dishes to choose from and 2 of those dishes are like their specialty, like that's what they're known for. Obvious choice, right? And it just makes it so much easier to choose. And I'm pretty sure I choose something in 2 minutes, right? Versus the 50-page menu or 200-page or however much it was, it takes me half an hour to choose something and then I choose something that I don't like. That's what I mean by variety. When your prospects get way too much to choose from, it just creates confusion. We don't want that. So back to funnels and back to the coach that I was talking about. So she, first of all, that was a big problem, her landing page and the way she had just plastered on 50 different offers on there. But an even bigger problem than that was that she didn't have a proper funnel in place. While I was working with her and trying to like sort her business out and scale it for her, she came to me on one of those days and she was like, oh my God, this coach right here that I saw on Instagram, she just had a $1.2 million launch. I want to do exactly what she did. I want to do the same funnel that she did. This shit works. Seema, just do whatever it is that she did for me. I want that because she made so much money. And I was like, okay, hold up for a second. First of all, let's see what exactly it was that she did. And then second, let's see if what she did actually applies to your business, because just because she made a lot of money with her launch, it doesn't necessarily mean that her system, her funnel is going to apply to your business and to your niche. We have to see. Took a closer look at this coach that she had found who had had a massive launch. And I saw very quickly that she had a challenge funnel and it was over 6 weeks, okay? So they had just done the first week and then she'd made a bunch of money up front. But anyway, I was like, first of all, she has a challenge funnel, okay? And this creator, she was new in this space. She was relatively new. I think she used to be like someone who sold furniture or some shit like that. I don't know, but she was new in the industry. She had been posting content for 6 months, and then she launched her challenge. I told my friend, I was like, listen, you are way ahead of this girl. Like, this girl is just starting out. She posted for 6 months just to build some trust. And then in order to sell her audience on something high ticket, she knew that she had to take her prospects, those who were interested in her stuff, she had to take them through a more intimate type of cohort / challenge over a period of time, so that by the end of that period of time, when they have had more touch points with her, they can go ahead and invest in her offer that she's going to pitch them with. And it's probably going to be a high ticket offer, no doubt about that. But you, on the other hand, you've been around in your industry, in your niche for years. You have the trust, you have the authority already. In fact, I have seen that people are in your DMs asking, begging to work with you. So in this case, a challenge funnel is not the right funnel for you. You just don't need to do all that extra work. By the way, challenge funnels are a lot of work, okay? A lot of work. You don't need to do that because you're way ahead of that. And just because this other coach that you saw made $1 million something with her challenge funnel, it doesn't necessarily mean that a challenge funnel is supposed to be something you need to do. I explained it to her and she's like, oh, wow, okay. I told her, I was like, a better choice for you would be a webinar funnel because, as I said, you already have the trust. Your audience know that they need your solution, like almost completely. They're interested in what you have to offer, but I'm pretty sure looking at your stuff that they still don't know exactly what it is that you offer because you haven't given them an irresistible offer yet. And they just need that extra little more intimate time with you in order to pull the trigger and join your programs. And in such a case, a webinar is an amazing way to do that because it's almost as if you're having a sales call, but instead of it being one-to-one, it's one-to-many, which is great. And this coach, she told me, she had told me earlier that she didn't want to do sales calls anymore because she had burnt out doing them. She was the only one doing them. She didn't have a closer. But she said the only times I have been able to sell high ticket was when I did sales calls. I was like, that's even better. Then a webinar is going to be great because, as I said, it's like a sales call, but it's one-to-many. That said, I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions or if there was any subtopic within this video that you would like me to create another video on and go a bit more in depth into that specific subtopic, please do let me know. Just leave a comment down below. And if you found this video valuable at all, just hit the like button or do something that signals to me that somebody watched this video and it was actually useful for them. So do something with this information. Don't just consume and do nothing about it. And as always, ladies, stay hot, be smart, and I'll see you in the next one.